For 7 consecutive years, Metro and Food Service Equipment and Supplies magazine have joined forces to unveil an extraordinary opportunity, a $50,000 transformative makeover designed to revolutionize storage, streamline processes, and boost productivity. Introducing the Kitchen Storage Makeover. This year brought us to the city of Knoxville, home of the largest university in Tennessee. Tucked away just off campus is a quaint culinary program dedicated to combating hunger and food waste on campus, called Food for Vols. Volunteers actively collaborate with restaurants and cafes on and around campus to collect extra food that would have otherwise been discarded. Food for Vols annually collects and transports more than 60,000 pounds of overproduced edible food to their processing facility to be prepped, packed as ready-to-heat and ready-to-eat meals, and then redistributed to those with food insecurities, cost-free. This is where we find our winners, a father-son duo who keep this nonprofit rolling, the community engaged, and hungry people fed. So, how did it all start?
I'm Tyler White. This is my dad, Andrew. We run Food for Vols. Food for Vols is a food recovery program designed to end hunger on UT campus and the surrounding counties. So the idea for Food for Vols came from a sit down with myself and Jay Price with UT Sustainability. And sure enough, we picked up the phone, we called Vol Dining. I said, here's what I want to do. Would you work with me on it? They said yes. From there, we had a 1 semester run where I had one van that was donated. It's a 2002 Dodge van with like 15,000 miles on it. Everything we get, we have to get donations for. So we had a semester to run it. When we came back in January, we blew every number we thought we were gonna hit out of the water in 3 months that I thought I could do in a year. And we said, if we want to keep this going, we need to hire somebody. And Andrew joined us in February of 2022. And the rest is somewhat history for us in Food for Vols growing hand over foot every year, getting bigger, bigger, bigger. Last year, 2023, we were able to provide 60,000 meals to those in need on UT campus and 100,000 pounds of food to 4 counties surrounding the university.
With such an incredible program starting from scratch and running entirely off donations, it's no surprise their space needs some organization and new equipment. Before we formulate a game plan, though, we need to assess the space and the process.
So let's face it, disorganization is intimidating. Maybe you don't know where to start, and that's why the assessment is so vital. We identify the environment, we come in with a fresh perspective, and we identify solutions that you may not even realize exist. Metro brings a very unique methodology to the environment where we look for application-based solutions. We don't just look at an environment, we don't look at a space and say it's 4 feet, what can I fill it up with? We look at the environment and identify what is the best use of this space and then create a solution to address it.
That being said, a good solution is only as effective as the problems it fixes. Let's see where they run into a few issues.
Top troubled areas for me is moving food from A to B.
My biggest issue that we have currently is the amount of speed racks we have. And our halls are covered in speed racks, the coolers get full of speed racks, and we're walking twice the amount we need to walk with all that food as well.
I mean, the big one, I guess, is just how spread out everything is. I mean, obviously this is where we're producing food, but then our food is all the way on the other side of the building.
Moving these containers is really a pain. They're really troublesome, and we go through about 3 boxes a day, so I have to go all the way back here, grab them because I'm short, so I can't reach them, and then try not to drop them on my head.
That's probably the big one, just the organization of everything, I guess, and how spread out it all is a little bit of a pain.
And that's just the start. But where does Metro fit into this process with such complex needs?
Each makeover has posed different challenges. Some are more difficult, some are messier, some look like this. Some have opportunities for process, some have opportunities for storage. Whatever that may be, every single makeover is unique, and Metro brings a unique perspective. For the final outcome of this, I have a couple of goals. My main goal is to help them to reach their goal. They have lofty goals. They want to reach at least 600 meals preparation a day. Their processes can't allow them. They don't have the capacity to be able to do that. Our job is to be able to give them the capacity to reach their goals.
With our goals set, let's see what kind of an impact we can make.
We're beyond grateful that Metro is here helping us with this. To get a gift like this is a lifesaver for our program.
Let me honorary vols for life.
We really like the sound of that. Now let's dive in to get a better picture of how Food for Vols functions throughout the day.
Hi, I'm Bailey Courtwright. I'm the National Strategic Account Manager. I'm here with Tyler today, and we're going to start going over the pain points.
So we have limited space and not much shelving to hold it. We only have not even a quarter of our total inventory of pans that are stored in this room. We have to go all the way to the other side of the building to get extra pans to bring them in here every day as we get busier. So it's hard to walk back and forth with limited storage. Multiple pain points. We have a shelving unit in here now that has a bottom rail that we trip over, we can't get carts over, so it's wasted space in there. And then there's not enough space for all of our speed racks that we have. We use just the single speed racks, and sometimes there's way too many, we can't move in there. So our freezer houses all the donated food that we get from campus and suppliers and things like that, along with some of the supplies that we use for our academic classes.
Cool, so this is something that we typically don't see in a freezer. Is there a reason you guys are using a bread rack?
So we sometimes collect a lot of food at one time, and we have no other storage option for some of these bagged products that we get in. So we had to just use what we had on hand, and bread racks seemed to be the easiest thing to get in there, but it's really hard to move and really heavy. This is the drying area of our dishwashing room. We have our dirty side down there where all the containers go to be washed, and then when they come out, they all have to be dried, and it could be 50 to 100 hotel pans at a time. With what we have here, we can't dry that many hotel pans at one time, and these racks aren't really meant for drying and the water dripping on them. They're not coated, so over time they can deteriorate. This refrigerator is not functioning right now, and it's the only thing we had that could store our hotel pans and colanders and things like that, so we try to make do with what we have laying around. So over here we have student volunteers and Food for Vol workers that are preparing meals. They're going to go to the Big Orange Pantry. They're working on 350 meals right now, and then when they're done with the meals, they're going to package food to go to our community partners in 4 different counties. So we only have one main table that the students can work on, so we're limited in our capacity. We have to get up to 600 meals next fall, and we don't have the space to do it. And then we have things stored in multiple different rooms that we have to go get, bring back in here because of lack of storage in this room. It's not very efficient for us going back and forth all the time. This room and our other room next door stores a lot of the items that we need to make our Food for Vol meals every day. This room has all the containers that we use for the Food for Vol meals. Any given time we have 150 cases in here from table to ceiling, and we can barely move around in here. Behind you I have van seats that often act as extra storage shelving for other containers that we use as well.
All right, so this seems to be a very important part of your guys' operation. Could you tell us a little bit about this?
Yep, so we got this cart secondhand, and we had to modify it to fit all those plastic containers that we use. We bent the frame on it. We attached a ratchet strap because it's too long for what we need. This rides on the truck and is like the most important thing Andrew uses every single day, but it's too long, so it's hard to get on and off our truck lift, and then it's not quite very safe with our little ratchet strap and stuff on here as well.
So we actually have a lot of different custom capabilities, and we can definitely find something to fix this issue.
Now that we've identified the pain points in their facility, we can begin planning how to effectively implement many of our innumerable options into creative solutions they truly need. Although the assessment process is very in-depth, it's an easy assignment for our space efficiency experts. The easier it is for volunteers to perform job tasks, the more sustainable and efficient the program becomes. That's where Metro shines. In every assessment we do, our specialists evaluate your processes, products, and purpose to provide a streamlined system specifically designed to make you and your staff happier and more productive. It's not just about having more or deeper storage or squeezing in another speed rack. The question is whether these options actually serve you best. Let's take a look at what our specialists came up with for this operation.
This is a center staging room for your containers. So when they come back and when they're ready to go out, this is a really important area. The team came in yesterday, we looked at this, we analyzed this, and I think we have a solution in here. One of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna take the washer and dryer, we're gonna stack it, we're gonna put it on a new platform. We're gonna do shelving nice and high. We have nice high ceilings around this entire space. We'll be able to get all 300 or plus of all your containers in here so they're not scattered throughout. So we're consolidating everything into one room. We're also going to make it able to have random items be able to park underneath some spots, so it's not just a big parking lot. So we're going to try to accommodate that as well. How does that sound?
That's perfect. These containers are the most important thing we have in getting food in and out of the facility.
We have all these racks, and you see you have them
Yes.
all over the place. And they're not the most efficient racks.
Correct. No, the welds break all the time.
Well, and even the type, you have to put the trays in
Yes,
there
we
to
have-
put the
have to.
pans on there, and it doesn't really work. So the one rack that you have here, that is your most functional rack, I have to say it's a Metro rack,
Yes.
and it's the one that actually works for the pans you hold.
Correct.
We talked a little bit about the racks outside, and now we want to just show the example of the two racks. The Metro rack is made to hold these pans. It holds 2 in an area with 10. You get about 20 or 25 pans in there. The other type of racks, you have to put a sheet pan on there, and then you have to put the pan on there, and they only hold 1.
9 to 10
9
per
to
rack.
10. The other thing is, I noticed in your dish area, you're cleaning hundreds of these things. And the reason you're cleaning hundreds of them is because you have to use hundreds of them. So if we eliminate those, you're going to eliminate dish cleaning, you're going to warewashing, your warewashing storage. All that stuff is going to be reduced by putting the right product for the job.
And we won't have to rivet the shelves back on.
Yeah, you won't have to rivet it. This is a really important area, and it's a nice, large walk-in. One of the things is you do have a lot of ample storage, but it's not efficiently set up for your process. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to eliminate this floor track system. We don't think this system is optimal for your need, and we can have a much better solution than this. We also get rid of the floor tracks, so there's no safety issues. So we're going to take care of this track system is going to come out of here, and we're going to install a different track system, not as large, because we don't use half of it. You don't use half of it, so you're not going to need it. We're going to install an above track system along this wall. Okay, so that above track system is going to have deeper shelves. So you're going to get just about as much capacity in a shorter environment, but then what that's going to do is that's going to open up this entire rest of this walk-in for the things that you need most, which we talked a little bit about before, which is your racks. The rack transport is a more important process for this walk-in than it is to have a giant system of just lots of bulk storage.
It's usually speed rack Tetris,
Yep.
So that'll open everything up for us.
Yep. All right, here is the walk-in freezer. There's some big challenges in here, and I think we solved most of them for you. Well, we'll talk about shelving and storage, and the shelving around, putting the right system in there to hold your stuff with the dunnage, the heavy weight on the bottom. That's right up our alley. That's easy peasy stuff for us. That gets us right here. The challenge in here was the Tetris you play, and with the albatross right here, and it really was the biggest challenge, and hopefully we solved this because it's going to be an interesting experiment here. So we do have a potential solution, and our solution is our chain accounts, our big chain accounts. They address things like this, but it's a bread rack holder where they come out like drawers rather than stack, where if you have to get this sauce out, you got to dismantle this whole thing in order to do that. So I think we have a solution for that, and that's going to play a big part in making this stuff accessible.
That saved my back.
We're here in the drying or the dishwashing area of the facility, and as you know, what is this? This is like everything comes through here.
We end every day here.
Every day here, a lot of volume, a lot of chaos. A couple of things we want to address in here. We want to address something that's very common. It's wet nesting. Things lay on top of each other, can form bacteria, can grow on there, and if things sit too long, it can cause problems. We want to eliminate any chance of that we can. We want to put the right product in here for the environment. We want to put stuff that's water safe. Okay, so that's number 2. And number 3, we want to eliminate this giant monstrosity here for your pots and pans. So I think when we do that, we make smaller, more mobile drying racks so you can maneuver them around a little bit. It'll help the efficiency in here quite a bit.
All right, thank you.
So we're in the prep area, which is the engine of this operation. Because what's the goal? To get
We need
to
to get
what?
600 meals, and we're going to have hopefully 12 to 15 volunteers in here every day.
So you're going to be using this space to package and get to 600 meals, and it's got to be efficient. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this line to be a more food grade line, NSF, stainless prep line. We're going to be able to give you some storage underneath it for your tools and stuff, but what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this line pretty much the same as it is because it's very functional for you, but just in the next level up for food service. Then the next area over here that we looked at is your can rack. We discussed this with your team, and our team discussed it. That can rack is holding every can that you need for pretty much the
entire facility.
Entire facility. So you only need about 4 or 5 items in this room that they actually use in here to prep these meals. So we're going to remove that can rack and put it somewhere else, and we're going to give you a smaller can rack that only will accommodate the things that are in here to make it easier to find them, obviously, and less trips for people to go back and forth.
All right.
On this wall over here, we're going to be creating workspaces, 2 additional workspaces. We're going to be creating shelving storage, as well as your labeling system will have a home. We'll have more of an office component of it with overhead storage that will be able to accommodate all the extra stuff that you have in here. So you're going to get more storage in here to bring in a lot more of the goods into this room so you don't have to go running for them.
That'll make it way more efficient for the students to get the meals made.
The last part is the carts. We're going to give you a little bit better carts with better casters, because you guys use these and you run back and forth. You're going to be able to dock them here and there, and we're keeping the docking area as close to door as possible so there's less footsteps.
Okay. With the ones we had to cut the handles off to make it work, so that sounds better.
And so that's it for this area. I think this is going to be really nice.
So, with the assessment complete, our team can now reflect on the inner workings of Food for Vols and continue calculating the perfect placement for all the new equipment Metro will bring to the table during part 2 of this series. We hope you've enjoyed the assessment of this year's Kitchen Storage Makeover winner, and we look forward to seeing you at the install. Stay tuned for more.
Alright, get out of here. Get out of here.
Hey, so it's usually just 2 speed racks in there at a time?
And the bread rack.